And a 50-year battle to save a historic black cemetery in North Dallas has come to an end, with descendants of former enslaved people claiming victory tonight. The 173-year-old cemetery sits right on 3 acres that developers have coveted for more than half a century. Tonight, the caretaker tells our CBS News Texas' J.D. Miles his ancestors can finally now rest in peace.
Just know that it's not easy getting back here to the place itself, to the cemetery itself, but it's a diamond in the rough.
It takes opening several gates and more than a few twists and turns to get to the White Rock Garden of Memory Cemetery, much like the twists and turns in this graveyard's storied history.
They tried to take it from us.
Tony Suber's family is buried here.
Anderson Bonner, for one, is an ex-slave. Henry Keller, former slave. Would say George Coit was a former slave.
Including his great-great-grandfather, Anderson Bonner.
I'm very, very much appreciative of his accomplishment.
Bonner owned several thousand acres and a school for black children after freedom from slavery and settling in what would eventually become far north Dallas.
This whole area was black owned. This whole area was farmland, cotton fields.
Now it's one of the most densely populated areas in all of North Texas. The 3-acre cemetery where Bonner and other black pioneers are buried is completely encircled by dozens of apartment complexes.
We also have intruders, unfortunately.
It's been vandalized over the years and even made inaccessible by developers who wanted the land, which has had no protected status for 173 years. Suber and others have worked for decades to give the final resting place of their ancestors dignity in death that they were denied during their lifetimes.
What they could not do at that time, I'm working on it now.
This week, the city finally designated the cemetery a historical landmark.
Very excited. It was great news. I mean, it just gave me a chill over my body to know that now going forth in the future, that this place would forever be here.
Believe it or not, there was an effort about 50 years ago to bulldoze this cemetery and build apartments. Fortunately, the descendants of those buried here were able to stop it in court. They hope this week's decision will ensure that this sacred place is protected forever.
And to see that this cemetery remains here, it stays here, and that it will forever be here. There's a lot of history that is buried in this cemetery.
Suber says a celebration will be held soon in the Garden of Memories, where an important part of the city's history will now be preserved. And how often do you come out here?
Pretty regular. I was out here yesterday. I feel honored to come out and to be a caretaker of this.
In Dallas, J.D. Miles, CBS News, Texas.